Hi, my name is Håkan Karlsson. I'm a Swedish teacher and also a Microsoft certified trainer. I teach for a high school in Lidköping called De la Garde Gymnasiet. This is the first video in a series showing how to install and configure Windows Server 2016. So let's begin. The installation is very similar to earlier versions. On the first installation screen, you select language and time and currency format and keyboard, and then you press next and select install now. The system copies over the files from the USB drive or the CD. The first thing you need to fill in is the serial number to activate this version of Windows. If you don't have a product key, you can install it as a trial version by selecting this section. Otherwise, you press next. The next thing you need to select is which type of operating system you want to install. In earlier versions, you could install a standard or a server core. In this version, the server core is the default choice. If you want to have the graphical interface, you need to select Windows Server 2016 Standard Desktop Experience. The following videos assume that you have selected this version, so we'll select it and continue. You need to accept the license agreement and select Custom Install Only. And you can either configure your hard drives, and you can just press next and it will do it for you. And then the system starts copying files, and this will take a while. And when it's done with the installation, it will automatically restart. The reboot will take several seconds to complete, since it will install the graphical environment. Now you're almost finished. You need to enter a password for the administrator. And click Finish. And it will now set up the desktop much in the same way as Windows 10 does. And then you enter the password for the administrator and log in. And as you can see, the desktop is very similar to Windows 10. Now the basic installation is complete, but there are still some things you need to configure before we're done with this video. First of all, go to local server, and there are some things you need to change here. You should always change the computer name and change it to something that's easier to remember. I call this server server 1, as this is the first server in my network, and press OK. And just click OK and close, and the system wants to restart. We will soon do that, but first we are going to change some other settings, so I'm just pressing restart later. And next thing is change the IP address. This server is going to use IP version 4, and to change the IP address, I just right click on the network card, press Properties. It will show me my network settings, and I can change settings for IP version 4. So I'll just select that and press Properties. And as a standard, it's set to obtain an IP address automatically. Um, you should, in most cases, use a static IP address instead. So you just select it here and fill in the values. And when you've filled in the values, just press OK and close. When you've set in the address, you just restart the server, so it will change the server name. And on the reason for the reset, you can let other be selected and continue. You log in again with the administrator account. To see that your changes has come through, just press on local server, and then you see the computer name has changed and the IP address is there. There are some things I usually always change on a lab server like this. The first thing you should probably not do on a production server, but on a lab server it's very practical to disable the IE Enhanced Security configuration. As a standard, it's on, and that makes it almost impossible to use internet on this machine. So if you put it off, you can use Internet Explorer to download programs and so on. On a production server, you should probably not do that, but in this case, it's okay. And you need to refresh. And it's set to off. And now if I press on Internet Explorer, you get an extra warning. You are able to surf on the web like that. The second thing I usually change is for the folder settings. You can find it in the control panel. As a standard, it shows us like this. I usually change it to small icons. It's easier to find what you're looking for, and you get more options. I select File Explorer options, go to View, and on folder views I got here hide extensions for known file types. When you work on a server, you often need to change some of the files and to create new batch files and such. And to see the extension of the file name, you need to disable this option. You can also click Show Hidden Files, Folders and Drives. It makes it easier as an administrator to find some of the hidden libraries and files and to change them. And then press OK. And close this. This concludes the first part in this series. In the next episode, I will show you how to configure this server as a domain controller.